Hey everyone, welcome you all. So in the today's video, we are going to see some of the important entry questions from Selenium WebDriver. Now let's get started. Okay, so the first question is how to launch browsers in WebDriver. And the second question is how to open URL. Then how to capture title of the web page. Then we'll see how to capture URL of the web page. And then we'll see how to capture page source of the web page. So now let us start with the first question. So how to launch browsers in WebDriver. So for that, we need to do some project setup as a beginner, as initially. So I already created one Maven project and which contains the pom.xml. So in the pom.xml, I already added Selenium 4 beta uh, dependency and which will automatically download required language bindings from Selenium WebDriver. Now my project setup is ready. So now I'm directly creating a new class. So inside my test Java package, I'm just creating a new package. I say my package. I say finish. Now inside this, I'm creating a new class. So here I'm naming it as launch browser. And say main method, you can write a test case in test.ng style, or you can just write a Java application. So I'm taking as a main method. I say finish. So here I just created one new class. So how we can launch our browser. So to launch our browser, so we have two different ways. Oh, the first way is we need to first specify the browser driver location. So for example, I have three different browsers. Let us say I have a Chrome browser and also I have one more browser. Let us say I have one more browser like Firefox, and also we have one more browser called Edge browser. So I have, let's say I have three browsers which I have taken. So for every browser, there is a driver is available. For example, for Chrome browser, we have a chromedriver.exe. This is a driver file. Similarly, for Firefox browser, we have geekodriver.exe. Similarly, for Edge browser, we have edgedriver.exe. So for each browser, there will be driver is available. So these drivers we can download from their own websites. So for example, if you want to get the Chrome driver, let's go to the Selenium website, or you can directly search Chrome driver. I say Chrome driver. So once you search a Chrome driver, you can just look at here Chrome driver, WebDriver for Chrome. Just click on this link, and here they provided different versions of Chrome driver. So here we have to download this Chrome driver. So the latest stable release is 89. But before downloading this Chrome driver, just let us cross check what is your Chrome driver version, Chrome browser version. So let's open the Chrome browser, and here go to help and about Google Chrome, and then it will show you what is current version of your Google Chrome. So currently I have 88.0.4322 or something. So I'm just downloading this particular version. I'm just closing it. Now 88.0.4324.96. Once you click on here, which will download executable file, which will navigate to another page, and here you can download Chrome driver win32.zip. So we don't have a specially 64-bit, which will work for 64-bit also. So when you click on the zip file, so which will download the a zip file which contains a Chrome driver. So once you get the zip file, now if I just extract this, I'm extracting this zip file into a folder. Now inside the folder, you can see chromedriver.exe. So this is the way we need to first download the drivers and keep ready before writing our automation script. And similarly, we can also download Firefox. For example, for Firefox, we can call it as a Gecko driver. So you can simply say download Gecko driver. So once you search for it, which will go to releases Mozilla Gecko driver GitHub, and click on this link. So once you click on this link, so which will navigate to GitHub link, and here there are multiple versions are available, and you can just look at this list. And here Gecko driver, which is for Firefox browser, and here 29.0 Win64-bit is the latest version, and depends upon your operating system, you can just download proper driver. So once you click on this Gecko driver Win64.zip, again you will get the zip file, and which is also contains a driver file. So when I extract this, so you will get the one more executable file. So these files we are going to use in our automation script. Similarly, for Edge browser also we can download. You can just go to Edge driver download, and which will go to WebDriver Microsoft Edge developer, And from there, so this is the older version of Edge, this is the legacy Edge, and this is the latest version. So if you just come down, there are multiple releases are available. So release 99, 90, 91, 89, and so on. So before that, we need to check the version of Edge browser. So I already have Edge browser, which is installed. So once you open the browser, you can just check the version number. So now I'm launching my Edge browser. And if I just go to settings, the options of Edge, and here you can see help and feedback, and you can see about Microsoft Edge. So once you click on about Microsoft Edge, now you can see here the Edge version called 89.0.xxx. So this is a Edge version which is available. So accordingly, we have to download. So currently 89, so is there. So release 89. From this, we need to download a proper driver. So you can just look at here, x86, x64-bit is also there. And if you're working on other operating systems, you can download proper driver. So if I just click on this x64-bit, which will again download one more zip file, again, which contains a, this zip file contains a executable file. So this is Edge driver Win 64-bit. Now once you refresh, now we got this. So extract this zip file. So once you extract it into folder, so then you will see the one more executable file. So these are the executable files which are basically drivers of specific browser, or we can say browser specific drivers. So once we have these drivers, then what you have to do is just go to Eclipse. Now in our test case, the first thing is we need to write one statement called system.set property. System.set property. So this will take two arguments. One is the key and one is value. So we have to pass these parameters according to your browser. So for example, first I'm trying to launch my Chrome browser. I say Chrome browser, I want to launch. So for Chrome browser, what is the key is? The key is webdriver.chrome.driver. So this is the key of the Chrome driver. And what is the value here is normally the location of your driver. So whatever drivers we already downloaded, so we have to specify the location. So for example, here under downloads, my files are present. Suppose for example, here I'm trying to launch my Chrome driver. So open this folder, and now we can just specify this path like this, and then specify the driver name also, chromedriver.exe / chromedriver.exe. This is the first statement which we have to write. System.setProperty, key, and the value. Value means the location of the driver. And once we have done this, the next statement will be, we have to create an object of Chrome driver class. So as we seen in Selenium, for every browser, there is a specific class which is implemented. So for example, when I say WebDriver is an interface, so this particular interface is implemented by multiple classes like Chrome driver class. We have Firefox driver class, and we have Edge driver class. Similarly, for each browser, there will be dedicated classes are available. So these classes are implemented WebDriver methods. So now we are working with the Chrome browser. So we need to create an object of Chrome driver. So Chrome driver class. So for that, I say Chrome driver equal to new Chrome driver. So once you create an object of this Chrome driver, what will happen is in the Chrome driver class, there is a default constructor, and that constructor will automatically invoke the browser. But before that, we need to import this Chrome driver. So this we need to import from org.openqr.selenium.chrome. And similarly, this driver. So this is the actual driver object variable. And whenever I create an object, which will automatically launch the Chrome browser. Now the same statement we can also write in different manner. Suppose here Chrome driver is a class which is implemented WebDriver interface. So now Chrome driver object, or we can say WebDriver variable, can hold the Chrome driver object, because so these are the different classes which are implemented WebDriver interface. So whatever objects we have created for these classes, those objects we can store in the WebDriver variables. So we can also write the same statement like this. So we can just create a WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver. So this is how also we can create. Okay, so this particular statement or this one you can create. Now we need to import the WebDriver interface. So this particular statement will launch our Chrome browser. Now let us see how it is going to launch. So let me just right click, run as Java application. So once you run as a Java application, now you can see it is trying to launch my Chrome driver. It is started successfully. Now you can see here my Chrome browser is launched. So far I have not opened any URL, just I launched my Chrome browser. So after launching my Chrome browser, if you want to open any URL, we have a method called get. So by using this object, we can access all WebDriver methods. So the first method I'm using is a get, and here we have to pass the URL of application. So for example, I want to pass some application URL. I'll say nopcommerce.demo. So this is the application URL I'm passing, or we can just say, click on one more application, and this is the URL I'm passing. So as soon as you pass this URL, the application will be open. Now come back and specify the URL and then semicolon. So here, this particular statement will launch the browser, and this particular statement will open the URL on whichever browser which is opened by this driver. So this is how we need to launch Chrome browser. Now when I run this once again, which will launch my Chrome browser and then opens the URL. So now it is launching my Chrome browser. And now you can just look at here. It is opening my application URL. Okay. So this is how we can launch our Chrome browser. And similarly, if you want to launch other browsers, then how we can write the statements. So what we have to do is we have to just change the parameters. Suppose I want to launch my Firefox browser. So then how we can launch my Firefox? To launch my Firefox browser, we have to use system.set property, and the key value will be webdriver.geeko.driver, because we already downloaded Firefox driver. The name of the driver is geeko.driver.exe. So this is a key, and here we have to provide the location. So where exactly we have downloaded under downloads and geeko driver, and this is the location where my geeko.driver.exe is present. So we need to pass the location, and along with that we need to specify the name of the driver. So here I am passing the name of the driver. That's it. And then WebDriver equal to, here instead of Chrome driver and Firefox driver is implemented WebDriver interface. So currently we are working with the Firefox, then we have to say this is Firefox driver. So this particular statement will launch our Firefox browser. So we need to also import this Firefox driver class from org openclassilium.firefox. Now the same statement we can also write like this. Instead of Chrome driver class, we can directly write Firefox driver equal to new Firefox driver. Okay, this is how we can launch Firefox browser. And once you created this driver, I'm launching my application URL. So let me just comment my previous code for Chrome browser, and then system.set property, and we specify the key webdriver.geeko.driver and the location of the Geeko driver. And this particular statement will launch my Firefox driver, then which will open this URL of the application. Now let us execute this, run as Java application. So once I executed our script, which will launch our Geeko driver Firefox, and then opens the URL on the particular browser. So now you can just look at here. This is my Firefox browser, which is launched. Okay, now it is opening the URL of the application. So this is how we can launch our Firefox browser. And similarly, we can also try this for Edge browser. Let me comment these statements, and then suppose if it is Edge browser, so how we can launch my Edge browser. So same thing, system.set property, and here webdriver.geeko.driver. Instead we have to use webdriver.edge.driver, and here we have to provide the location of your Edge driver. So we already downloaded Edge browser driver, so we have to pass that location. So here I'm changing the location, and along with that you have to specify the name of the driver, which is geekodriver.exe. That you have to specify // and here you have to specify, and WebDriver equal to new. This time we have to use Edge driver, and we have to import this Edge driver from org openq.selenium.edge. So instead of this WebDriver, you can also write here Edge driver object, Edge driver equal to new Edge driver. So this is also fine. So this is how we can write a script for launching the Edge browser. So this time this will launch Edge browser and then it opens a URL. So when I run this code, run as a Java application, so which will giving some exceptions. So driver executable must exist. So we have given some incorrect path. So let us cross check the path again. So if I just look at here, I have given WebDriver.Edge.driver, but I have given the Gecko driver path. So this is incorrect. So just go back again. So we need to get the edge driver, and this is the location we have to pass, and specify the location and go back and then specify the ms edge driver.exe file. So if you are not provided the proper location, or if you're not provided proper path or name, then you will get this exception, illegal state exception. The driver executable must exist in this location. Then accordingly we have to change this, and then WebDriver driver equal to new edge driver. So now let us execute one more time, run as Java application. So once you run as a Java application, now even Edge browser internally using Chromium, so Chromium driver, so it is launching my Edge browser. Now you can just look at here, this is my Edge browser and launching my URL on the application. Okay, so that's it. So this is how we can launch different type of browsers. So Chrome browser, Firefox browser, Edge browser. Similarly, for each browser there will be a special keys available, and we need to download specific driver for that particular browser. So this is a one approach which we have. Suppose I don't want to download these drivers manually, okay, and I don't want to hardcode this path every time. So we have another approach. So for that we have something called WebDriverManager API. WebDriverManager API. So by using this, we can directly specify the methods which will launch Chrome browser, Firefox, Edge driver, and so on. And we no need to download the drivers manually. So which this particular API which will automatically take care of all the drivers. So for that, what we have to do is we need to uh, get the WebDriver manager. So how to get it? So we already have Maven project. So we need to add uh, another dependency of the WebDriver manager. So how we will get it? So we need to go to Maven repository, and here search for WebDriver manager. So once you search for WebDriver manager, you can just look at here, WebDriver manager you will get. So once you click on this WebDriver manager, so now you can see different versions are available. So I'm just taking the latest version, which is 4.3.1. And you can get this dependency, copy this dependency, go back to your pom.xml and paste it over here. So once you have this dependency, it will automatically download required jar files. Now, once you have this, which will automatically download required jar files. So once you have done this, now go back to your script. So here what I will do is I will show you one more approach. So this is a traditional approach. We have to specify, we have to download all the required drivers. Then we have to specify the location, and then we can launch our browsers. So there is one more approach using WebDriver Manager, using WebDriver Manager API. So for that, how we can do that? By using WebDriver Manager also, we can try this. So using WebDriver Manager, we already have the jar files because we already specified the dependency in the pom.xml. So what we have to do is, in the first step here, we have WebDriver Manager class. We have a special class called WebDriver Manager class. Sorry. So this is WebDriver Manager. So for this particular class, WebDriver Manager, in this we have a method called, for example, I want to launch my Chrome browser. So what we have to do is WebDriver Manager, I say Chrome driver dot setup. So this particular method will be used. So WebDriver Manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. So this particular method which will automatically set up the Chrome driver path. So we no need to download any driver, browser specific driver, and we no need to specify the location of the driver. With this single statement, so which will automatically set up the driver. And then the next statement will be driver object. I say driver equal to, so I'm going to launch my Chrome browser. I say new Chrome browser. That's it. So now we need to import the Chrome browser. Okay, sorry, this is WebDriver driver equal to new. So which is WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver and then semicolon. So that's it, guys. So these are the only two statements we have to write. So this will basically avoid the downloading the drivers, and also no need to specify the path hard coded like this. So WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup and then WebDriver object. So WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver. That's it. So then which will automatically launch my browser, Chrome browser, and this URL will be open. Now let us execute, right click, run as Java application. So once we have executed, then which will launch my Chrome browser and then opens the URL of application. So this is a beauty of WebDriver Manager. So we don't need to download any drivers. We don't need to set up any paths. So this is how we can launch my Chrome browser. Same thing we can do for other browsers also. This is for Chrome browser. And if you want to launch other browsers, what you can do is, this is for Chrome browser. And then suppose I want to launch my Firefox browser. Then what we should do is WebDriver Manager dot instead of Chrome driver dot setup, we have to simply write Firefox. So Firefox driver dot setup. This will automatically set up the Firefox driver, and then we create the driver object and launching the Firefox, and just comment these statements. Done. So this particular statement will set up the Firefox drivers, and this will launch our Firefox browser. Then this URL will be opened on the Firefox browser. So let's run it as a Java application. So now we can just look at here. It is invoking Gecko driver, and then which will launch my Firefox browser. So this is my Firefox browser which is launched, and then opening the URL of application. So that's it, guys. So this is for Firefox browser, and same thing we can repeat for Edge browser. So if it is an Edge browser, we have to do like this: Edge WebDriver Manager dot instead of Firefox driver, we say Edge driver. So WebDriver Manager dot, we can say Edge driver dot setup, and WebDriver driver equal to new Edge driver, because Edge driver is a class which is implemented WebDriver. So this particular statement, the first statement, Edge driver dot setup, will set up the Edge driver, and we don't need to download. We don't need to download and specify the path, which will automatically take care of it. And then this particular statement will launch the Edge browser. Then with open URL will be executed. So when I run as a Java application, then the same URL will be opened on the Edge browser. So Microsoft Edge was started successfully. Now this is my Edge browser, and now application URL is open. So this is how we can launch our web pages. So there are two ways. The one is by using system.set property, we have to specify the key and the location of the driver. And in this approach, we have to download the drivers before writing the automation code. But when I use WebDriver Manager API, we don't need to download any drivers, and we don't need to specify any locations. So this particular statement directly will set up the Chrome driver, WebDriver Manager.Chrome driver.setup. Similarly, WebDriver Manager.Firefox driver.setup, WebDriver Manager.Edge driver.setup. So similarly, for all the browsers, there are certain methods are available. So all these methods we can access from WebDriver Manager. So this is the first question: how to launch browsers in WebDriver. So then how to open the URL? So we already seen one method called get method. So driver.get is a method, and by using this object, we can access get method. Whatever URL we have passed here, that URL will be opened on the browser. And the next method is how to capture the title of the web page. Suppose as soon as I launch my application, I want to capture the title of the web page to perform certain validations. So how we can capture the title of the web page? Suppose every web page is having some title. Suppose let us say this is my application. Suppose I'm launching this application and I want to capture the title of this web page. So where we can see the title of the web page normal is, if I just right click and see view page source, under header part, you can see the title tag here. This is the title tag, and this is the actual title of the page. But I want to capture this title through command, WebDriver command. So how it is possible? So for that, we have one more command called get title. So this is the command which we have to access through driver object itself, which will return the title of the current web page. So we can just print the title by using system.out.println driver.get title. This will give you the title of the web page. So I'm just trying to print something here. I say title of the web page is, I can say driver.get title. And similarly, I can just say, I want to capture the URL of the web page. Suppose I'm opening the application URL like this, the same URL. And after opening, I want to capture this URL once again to validate whether it's properly opening the correct URL or not. So for that, I can use driver dot get current URL. I can say driver dot get current URL, so which will return the current URL of the web page. So get title, get current URL. Sometimes we need a page source. Suppose if you want to validate something in the page source, if I just see here, view page source, which will give you HTML code of this particular page. Suppose if you want to validate some content in this particular page, in this particular source, we have to capture this entire source. For that, we can use one more command, driver dot get page source, driver dot get page source. So this particular command will give you HTML of that particular page. So I can say, I can print directly. I can say basically this command will return the string type of data. I can say system dot out dot println and then driver dot get page source. I'm directly printing the page source. So this is a current URL of the web page, and this is a page source. So totally how many methods we have seen? Driver.get is a method which will launch our URL on the browser, and get.title, driver.get title, which will return the title of the current web page. Driver.get current URL, which will return the URL of the current web page, and get page source, which will return the HTML of the current web page. So for these questions, we have discussed three different commands: capture title, capture URL, capture page source. Now let us try to execute this code. And currently I have in Edge browser. Let me just enable Chrome browser. You can run the same script on any other browsers. You can try later. So I'm just disabling this code. Now I'm running this code on Chrome browser. So let us execute now. Run as Java application. So now it is launching my Chrome browser. And then as soon as it is launched, it is open the URL and also capture the required stuff. So if I just look at in the console window, as a first statement, you can just look at here. Title of the web page is this one, no commerce demo store. And this is the current URL of the web page. And from here, it is captured the whole thing from the HTML page source. Okay. So these are the different commands which are available. How to launch browsers in WebDriver we have seen, how to open the URL, how to capture the title of the web page, how to capture URL of the web page. Then finally, we have seen how to capture page source of the web page. So these are the few important questions. In the next video, we will discuss so few more important intro questions. So that's all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.